So here's how the teams line up. Camilla Buchanan, I've already mentioned you and your grin. Who are you looking out for smiling on court?
Well, that's a great starting lineup there. We've got Joyce Mavula in at goal shooter, who is the absolute backbone of this team at the moment. Who's really impressed for me is Chimilero in at goal attack, but it's the whippet Luazi in at centre that we're going to be looking out for today. She has been key to this attacking lineup. Mwafalira in at wing defence, and the combination of Tumtule and Vikumbu at goalkeeper, a force to be reckoned with.
As for Barbados, if they've got the speed of Malawi, have a look out for Rockyaw and Azure Bruce. They have real strength in that defence. Wharton, one of those players who can sink a long bomb. She's exciting under the post and in that attacking area. She's one to look out for Barbados as they step out onto court. So then, Malawi up against Barbados. Camilla, I mentioned about the physical strength of Barbados, but they've got the skills, not least in that circle.
Absolutely, and just there in shot we saw Wharton, who has totally impressed us over this tournament. She's a young gun, only 23 years old, but my goodness, she's impressed with her flair and her long bombs, as you mentioned.
Malawi up against Barbados, the first quarter on the way. Both these teams then hoping to make it through to the next stage, but their real ambitions about placings in the world order and where they can end up. Expect speed, a bit of feistiness, and that's just from Camilla. Luazi's one of those players that plays with a smile on her face, but she'll be the machine, the engine in this team. First centre pass then for Malawi.
Roll attack. Voltage obstruction, goal attack. Voltage contact. Contact centre, penalty. Contact centre.
We'll hear a lot of pinging from the umpires early on, just trying to sort out the contact, the obstructions. No goal.
Setting the tone. We have Anso Kemp making the players know that she's in charge and what's going to be acceptable, but as you mentioned, it's going to be a feisty game. They've got to get control of it from early.
Now can Barbados build from the back? There's Holder, got experience through the ranks.
Demisha Cole there with a lovely pass to baseline. She's recovered after a nasty knock yesterday. She was deemed fit to play and has been really key as captain to this team in that attacking lineup.
Wharton comes out hunting, but just can't get it past the Pinkembo. A plank from Luazi.
We've been seeing a lot of these planks. Yesterday we saw Kimberly Lim of Singapore do a similar thing. Abs exploding all over the place.
Is it just to shame us?
Yeah, I think so.
Easily done. Oh, not so easily done. An angry then take from Joyce Mavula. We expect her to make the most of those opportunities.
Such strength, Joyce Mavula. You can see there she's not the most obvious with her movements, but so strong, just like that take that we saw there. Opting not to take the shot on this one. Chimilero, who has been so key and such a game player.
She didn't opt to take it initially, but she opted to stick her body in and just let her know that she was there.
Absolutely. Make it be known.
Rockyaw with Knight. Options being created. They're having to find their way through. Good defensive pressure from Malawi.
That's a good touch there from Wharton. Just the single hand touching it down to gain control. And there's a real battle going on between Azura Bruce, Vinkumbu, and Wharton already.
And it's Malawi who come out with ball in hand.
Side centre.
And just those little errors, those coach killers.
Yeah, cheap giveaways that you really can't expect. Game 3 now, things should really be tightening up. All those nerves have gone. This is where we're really looking for teams to solidify their basic game.
Whole time. Let's take a step forward. Goal attack, take a step forward. Yep. Goalkeeper beside. Yes.
Vinkumbu and Wharton really going at it, fighting for that space. that body on body that we love so much in this game.
I mean, we love it watching here.
Yeah.
If I was in there,
No.
bloomin' hate it.
I think you'd be all right.
Oh!
A bit of football going on.
Skills.
I mean, that was pretty stylish.
Vinkumbo actually played football and her team were unbeaten for 2 years, so
Impressive.
there are footballers on this court.
Tanisha Rokyal has been really impressive so far with her interceptability.
Contact on the wrist.
Again, just the contacts called.
Only 25 years old. Opting to go back on second phase there. Demisha Crony really owning that goal circle with the feeds, finding space to Wharton.
I mean, come on, it's that moment when they get it, when Holder gets it in there too. She's such a target.
She is, and when she gets the angle right and the placement is on point, there's no defender that's going to be able to touch that.
3-3. This is the tight battle we expect.
Forward, please, both players. More? Yes, come forward. Yeah. Obstruction goal defense. Yeah.
She gets another bite of the cherry, slots it home.
Up the other end then. Can Barbados do? Holder with the lovely weighted feed in again to Wharton.
There's that long range that we talked about from Wharton. The single hand take, and then so effortless through the post.
Good lands, and that's the style of Malawi, which in the last World Cup in 2015 just really got everyone behind them.
Contact goal shooter, you leaning on the player, penalty.
The offensive call that we... Oh, fantastic! What a win from Mafilera. Oh, unlucky. Look at this take, just from nowhere, just unable to convert that to goal.
She also did a great celebration afterwards.
See, you can never celebrate too early.
Don't go too early. It's a bit what Barbados did then again. And Mvula was just turning around. She turned around to her team, said, calm it down.
Yeah, that's the experience of her that we'll see today. Look at that take, just effortless.
Again, just saying, just take that little bit of energy. Keep the energy, but maybe just that rushing a few of the passes.
Yeah, just like Barbados did there. Just sloppy. You want them to tie that up early on, 6 minutes into this quarter now. And that hold is just, she's got the measure there of Azor Bruce.
There's no Mwai Kumwenda, who arguably is one of the best netballers on the planet. Joyce Mvula's had to stand up. She's off the back of a Super League season here in the UK, where her Manchester Thunder team were victorious. She's got the confidence, hasn't she? And she's certainly got the ability.
She has, and you know, big shoes to fill with Kumwenda missing, but she's absolutely taken it on her shoulders this tournament so far. What will be more telling is when they come up later on in the stages, how the support in front of her builds the team. But no, she's absolutely stepped up to it, Mvula.
Advance obstruction goalkeeper.
Wharton again, unfazed by that. I mean, she looks cool as you like. And, you know, she's got the nod ahead of Latonya Blackman, who has been so key and so experienced to this Bajan team.
Contact goal defense with the foot. Yeah.
You know when Malawi are on song, when they land it so well on the court, when they feel the court and almost use it to spring back up against.
Yeah, it's poetic sometimes.
Restarting
the centre pass, there was a bib adjustment needed.
Obstruction goal defense. Whole time, wing defense. Yeah, all right. Okay.
As a mother yourself, that was a...
Yeah, you know what's coming.
Zip it.
Yeah, but that's what's good about umpires, when they just have a word. It's not a caution, it's Just a tidy up and well kept in there from Crony, but unable to get picked up by a Bayesian gem.
So how can they transition now? Luazi she preempted that one with a jump that she didn't need to do.
Inside the goal circle.
That's a better challenge from Azor Bruce.
Goal attack. Move that
Just
way,
getting her
please.
feet round to confuse that space.
Unorthodox, the pass slipped out of her hand. The same results. Centre pass then for Malawi.
Vantage contact centre.
Luazi with a beautiful feed in.
Yeah, absolutely. She turns, she looks to goal straight away, and the one-handed pass again into that space that Nazmat was trying to drop into but just not able to. 3-second call there. Just really struggling at times to get that through into that, over that transverse line. We want Barbados just to get some communication back in Mavula there. Real class on that tape. Saying her thanks to that.
Don't know that one was ever in doubt, was it? There we go.
Throw in. Malawi.
It's just reining back in some of that aggression on the passes at time from Malawi. It looks spectacular when it comes off, and the majority of the time it is coming off at the moment, but just calming it down again.
And actually, we've seen Malawi play a really steady game at times. We know that they can hold on to the ball, they can play a possession game, so it's just about getting that balance and recognising when to put in those long passes or those fancy passes and when to just keep it really basic and get the job done. That was a quick 3.
I was trying to do the and 1 and 2, and I'm not sure I even got to the and before the 3 then. But I've always lived life in the past.
Well, there you go. Look at that take from Luazi, fantastic. A player that you like, Caroline.
It's just she plays the way she is, isn't she? Just that I'm here and I'm ready to take it.
Absolutely. Okay, and the umpires are, these 3 seconds seem pretty quick. As a player, it's something that you have to adjust to quickly. The umpires are in control, so if the 3s are coming quick, then you've got to release it quicker. It's how quickly they'll adjust to those calls.
4.5 minutes left of this first quarter. Malawi with a 13-5 lead. It was going goal for goal.
Great footwork there from Malawi defence. Offside call, but really great work there from Ntkule and Vinkumbu. Opting to double on Morton with great footwork.
Oh, no look pass, no look pass.
Oh,
Knew
she's
exactly where she was. She needs to finish this off only right with another bounce pass then. This was made by Mvula, it's finished by Mvula.
Fantastic, and that no-look pass there. Gosh, she's after my own heart. Look at this, she takes this on the corner, doesn't even look to the pocket, and beautifully finished off.
She knew the elastic was there, pulling in her team.
Top, pop. Beautiful triangle there from Barbados. Just switch it to the top. Wharton pops right down the middle, slots it home.
Oh, again.
See, as a defender, you've got to react to that quick. Oh, offside called. But this is why Mavula is so dangerous. We saw earlier in the first few minutes, she holds that angle so well, that ball's put into the space, but she also can release out of the circle. You've got to compete with that as a goalkeeper. She can no-look pass to a pocket. What do you do? What do you do as a defender? You've got so many things to think about.
But the coaches are letting their team try and figure it out on court. As a coach yourself, with the Super League team here in the UK, at what stage do you step in and say something? Because they need to sort out defensively what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up this end, they're fine.
Yeah, no, but I think definitely, you know, from Barbados, there just needs to be a little bit more structure in terms of who's going on what, and if they aren't going to do a man on defence, then they need to structurally make sure that it's solid. But yet, I think up until now, Barbados have had the luxury in their first game to find their feet, but this is the time where they really need to solidify. Their game 3 in. These games, every game counts, we know that at the World Cup, but it really starts to count now. We talked about yesterday in comms the combinations of people and how key they are. So that's going to be really important for both teams going forward.
Ball just off court.
Demisha Crony showing that attackers can defend.
Did you say that through gritted teeth?
Well.
Contact, wing defense. Go third. Go third. Go third. Full time. It's a go third.
So the umpire just making sure that everyone's clear. That one needs to be taken. Good land and a lovely little weighted ball up to Crony. Crony having to go across the circle and a quick feed in. Did well in splitting those Malawi defenders then.
Yeah, and Brianna Holder, her movement is becoming really key now as they're opting to double.
Contact.
Or playing for the contact there. But her movement, her work rate to create an overload on these defenders, because they are trying to double now on Wharton. So the movement that she's creating is just allowing Wharton to become available. So you see Wharton there step up. Oh, great strength coming through. 1 foot shuffle shot.
Not just the shuffle shot, but having to deal with a shuffle on the post too. A little bit of wobble and still.
Absolutely. Have a look at this drive through. Single foot. Gets it closer and then calm on the take. Really impressive from...
Such is the body on body that another bib had gone flying, so we just had a little hold up waiting for that. Loazi's jump. And again, Bula. We're going to have to look at that, because if we can read that, and the Barbados defence too, you have a look at Joyce and Bula finding that.
Absolutely.
Last 30 seconds. 16-9, 7 goals behind, but when they find the space like that, just couldn't quite stick it this time, Wharton, which we haven't said often in this first quarter. Malawi with the ball. They'll need to be quick in transition, which they've done before. They've had a quick glance up at the clock. They'll see there's just the last few seconds of this one. Galetta then.
Great vision.
What vision.
Unbelievable. Great finish, but what a pass from Takule from the centre third, and still time.
I mean, they're quick, but they're not that quick. Brilliant move from Malawi at the end to put them 17-9 up. They showed the verve that we expected from them, the speed and the skill too. Plenty of questions for Barbados to answer as they head into that second quarter. Certainly strong within that attacking end, but defensively, just some puzzles to work out for this Barbados team. 17-9 then, the lead for Malawi. Loazi, the pocket rocket then, with the centre pass for Malawi.
That's a better defensive setup from the Bajan defence. That route to goal not so direct. Oh, fantastic hands from Niles Map there.
See Blackman come on in that goal defence position. She's got the experience to change things up in there, Latonya Blackman.
Yeah, we usually see her in the shooting end, absolutely bossing things, but a player of many talents and able to slot into that defensive position. But we talked about them having to have something in their pocket to be able to shut down Joyce Mavula and then convert the other end. Holder on with the mid-range shot, effortless, lovely.
Just confirmation then of those changes for Barbados.
This is better defence from Barbados. As we said, just pushing Malawi onto the outskirts of the court, unable to have that direct, losing the 1-2 there. Oh, just unlucky there.
Not surprised that Malawi have come out with the same 7, looking at just how...
Oh, great, backing up there. Azora Bruce showing great athleticism. Oh, just unlucky with the offside call. That's the stuff that we really can't have happen. You're not going to be able to win much ball. So when you do, you want to be able to convert it to goal.
A bit like that goal, though. They're playing on the limit. And just those occasional offsides. Knight with the centre for Barbados. Crony was offering then, but having to go back to Rockyor, and again, just that pressure that they're putting on defensively now, Malawi.
Yeah, and they've got the angles right. They're really squashing the Bajans into each other.
Obstruction, ring defence. Contact, goal defence. Yes.
Blackman.
No,
she was saying maybe there's a bit of me taken out there too, but
yeah, I think it looked pretty 50-50, but
Malawi.
umpire deemed the contact call.
And here they come again.
Oh.
Bars obstruction.
A quick 1-2, Luazi just showing too quick for Rockyor to slow down on the 1-2.
Yep.
Here, umpire.
That's now 8 from 9 for Chimilero.
Contact, wing defence.
And that's the issue they've got. These errors that are happening, the little contacts that are happening, it's just sucking the life out of them when it's their centre pass.
Yeah, and that was an unlucky one, but yeah, you have to convert your centre pass. You know, they're 11 goals down. Those
caution against Rockyor as well there.
Yeah, centre pass to goal is a key stat that we look at. When that's broken down, you make your job twice as hard, and already they're struggling defensively to just slow down the machine of Joyce Mavula. And as Aubrey's just getting caught on the backside of Mavula, unable to stop that front ball in.
So a change made again. It's Blackman in to the little bounce pass, and Knight too. Brilliant vision then. That was better. So just this time, picking out the space, and Walton making herself available as she has been. Just able to feed her this time. Luazi.
Oh, fantastic take from Blackman, just reading that beautifully across the top of the circle. Great transition. This is better from Barbados. That transition through the court, fantastic. That was from the work that they did to stop the lateral ball. If you just have a look at Blackman, just reading that, takes that reverse hand. Still from Luazi. Fantastic from Blackman. Rewarded the other end with a goal from Wharton.
Lifts the whole team.
Absolutely. You can feel the energy just on the side here, what it does for the team as well. Oh, and then the offensive contact. See, that's where you'd expect now your captain at quarter time to go to the umpire and ask a question, what is it that I'm doing, because she has to change it.
Not just that, it just puts an element of doubt in the umpire's mind. If you go and have that conversation, which you're allowed to do, shows that you're trying to adapt to the game.
Absolutely, it plants the seed and also shows that you're going to try and change it, so absolutely.
Contact, defense.
Just so relaxed, some of those passes in.
And you just get the sense that Barbados is starting to think about hunting a little bit more, so they've brought Shantae Seal in and to hopefully create a few more interceptions for the Flyers, because on a one-on-one against Mavula, they're just not winning any balls. So as a coach, you'd be saying, okay, we need to win it earlier then. And that's going to be from those Flyers that the work of Shantae Seal and Amanda Knight are doing out in front.
Shaniqua Thomas on at that goal attack position as well. Just like Wharton, she's not afraid to have that. So plenty of changes then.
Yes.
Barbados just trying to upset that rhythm of Malawi. As they go 26-13 up. 17-9 that first quarter, so Barbados with 8.5 minutes of this quarter remaining just look like they've got a bit more in them.
Yeah, I think there's room for their centre pass to improve. That was a beautiful hold, beautiful take from Wharton. Oh, and look at that long bomb again.
Someone's got to pick her up for a fast 5
I think
team.
we'll be seeing a lot more of this young lady. Look at that. Great take. Effortless finish.
Confidence to shoot from anywhere.
Oh.
What is obstruction goal? Shooter. Goal defense.
Yeah, this is better. This is better from Barbados.
No need for the contact after the shot has gone in.
It's not so smooth on their centre pass through, is it? So just keeping them a bit higher up court.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just want the first and second phase to improve. That's better from Barbados. The first phase in the middle of the court, second to the top of the circle. Just makes that feeding so much more easy. The preparation that Barbados did there was so much better. They pulled their player out to the sideline. Then the middle opens up. More of that, and they should be able to claw a few more goals back. Malawi centre pass to goal 66%, so pretty average.
The Luwazi land and the bounce then. Might have that on a t-shirt, Luwazi land. She does that, doesn't she? That great foot down and away she goes.
Yeah, but at 5'2", she barely makes a sound when she lands. She's
6 foot hair though.
6 foot hair, yeah. Light as a feather feet. That's better from Barbados. Good transition.
She'll have a look from here. She'll have a go from here.
Oh,
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Fantastic, for all the right reasons. See, now as the Malawi defence, you've got to think about, okay, do we allow this young lady to get her position on the circle edge?
Just keep her out the circle.
Keep her out the circle. She doesn't exit the circle much. But you get round in front of her, she'll take the ball into the back space and she can slot it away from there as well. So just giving them something else to think about when you've got a shooter that can shoot from all those ranges. Oh, that's a cheap ball there. Not happy, miscommunication there.
Offside, hold time. Your bib again, please. Just hold time.
Really struggle with bibs in this one.
Bib issues.
I used to love those. South Africa did it at the last World Cup. They had a whole top of their dress they'd pull over rather than just the belt.
Really?
Don't look at me for fashion advice.
Vantage contact, goal attack. Vantage contact, goal attack.
Long ball. Oh, what a take. Vinkumbu just reading that beautifully. That cross-court ball, look at that. I mean, masterclass in a cross-court fly there. Took off at the right time.
Preempting where the pass was going to go.
Preempting, I mean, it was potentially a little telegraphed. You might have been able to get that, Caroline.
I doubt it.
But it was fantastic nonetheless. That's better pressure.
And again, it's just Mvula rushing her shot. We've got players going left, right and centre. Such is the effort being put in to this one. Sealed down, she's back up. Part of that passage of play. Go back to
contact wing attack, goal centre third.
So Galetta getting the contact call there. There she goes again. Vinkumbu getting the high five from Ntule.
That's a brilliant thing. They realise just how much that will mean. Oh.
Yeah, and this is the stage where you really want Barbados to try and stay in touching distance. Now gone 12-7 up this quarter. That was their possession.
We were going goal for goal. To pull themselves back into it.
Oh, great draw from Crony to the top of the circle. Got the goalkeeper interested, and then Wharton opens up at the post. That's the kind of work that they need. You can see now that Vinkumbu is looking for those early flies, so there needs to be a little bit more action out in front to keep her distracted. Chimilero again, sitting on 10 from 11.
All net, all net.
What is our side wing attack?
Has that Blackman change worked?
I think it has. I think that the combination of Niles Mapp and Zora Bruce is normally so airtight, but something just wasn't clicking for them today. Blackman's able just to tie up Chimilero a little bit more. Her footwork is just a bit tighter on it.
Problem is when you've got Malawi shooting at 90%. Shanika Wharton's at 93% for Barbados.
And I think the difference in what we're seeing is the amount of opportunities. You've got Joyce Mavula sitting on 23 attempts at goal shooter in the other end. Wharton sitting on just 15 attempts. So it's the service that the shooters are getting. Good movement there from Wharton. Oh, an uncharacteristic miss. Just undershot that one.
I think everyone had turned round, all heading back, weren't they, for the centre pass? Thought that one was a done deal. Malawi come with it, though. Lawazi on the edge of the circle. And just Chimilero. Both of them are targets and both of them under the post, and that's so difficult to defend against when they're moving you out, they're drawing you out, but also then just making sure their opportunities go through. Galetta lands it. Just not set right at all. Takes out Azor Bruce on the way through.
And she does that so well, Joyce Mavula. She doesn't do a lot of footwork, but it's the angle. She uses her body. She'll step up to a player. She'll roll out of it to screen her off, to open up Chimilero into another space. It's really smart movement so that she doesn't have to run all over the circle. A real joy to watch, really effective. And that's what's given the Barbados defence such a hard time.
Great upper body strength. Barbados on their centre pass then. Thomas didn't have many options then. Has to go back.
Second phase still. They're getting their first ball out, but it's often,
stutter, isn't it?
Yep, and it's often wide, and then you've got Crony who's doing one long drive from the outside of the court all the way through. She's being covered, and then there's nothing second phase. You really want your wing attack to be available. If she's not receiving first ball, she's got to be available second, and that just isn't happening for Barbados at the moment. Their centre pass needs to tidy up.
Well, the neutrals in the crowd here in Liverpool on court 2, trying to lift Barbados. We had the Malawi fans singing and dancing, and that moment then can just shift momentum as we head into the half-time.
Oh, great timing from Wharton. The work there from Thomas just to draw the defenders off the baseline. Wharton pops perfectly at the right time.
20 up then for Barbados. Put a little run on at the end of this second quarter. Wharton again. And you just thought that one would go. Instead, though, Wharton's gone down on the court. She's getting up steadily. Time though for Malawi.
Yeah, just hoping that was one of those I'm last in the race, I've pulled my hamstring, I missed my shot, I'm going to go down moments, and it's not too serious.
When you, I'm not suggesting you do that, Camilla Buchanan.
Never. I would never be last in a race.
You'd never be under the post. Last 25 seconds, so she misses the shot. She does have a little slide there, doesn't it? Just the ankle then goes away from her. Last few seconds of this half, 34-20, Malawi with ball in hand, as they have been for most of these first 2 quarters. Good land and a take. Chimilero doing what she's done so far in this game. She's now 14 from 15 in the mid-90s and 35-20 as they head into that half-time. Camilla Buchanan, they have shown moments, spells when you just can't live with this Malawi team.
No, and there was better structure from the Barbados defensive unit there, and you'd like to see them just trying to win ball a little bit earlier, but Malawi just too difficult to combat in that attacking lineup. Took the foot off the pedal a little bit, but Joyce Mavula, a real target in there and really leading that team into that lead.
They've got some quality on the bench as well, Malawi. Those changes in that last quarter for Barbados certainly added some more questions for Malawi as they head in for their little break. But but they've got a convincing lead as we head into the next 2 quarters. 35-20, it's Malawi in front, and Malawi with their fans dancing here in Liverpool. Barbados first off.
Bad contact.
Blackman's change from the defensive end into the goal shooter, which is where we've seen her mainly. Wharton takes a well-earned rest.
Blackman's such a classy player, though, and the ability to play at both ends. One of the most capped players here at the Netball World Cup. There's Joyce Mvula. And Mvula's being not wrapped in cotton wool, but she's being looked after. She came back from a very heavy injury suffered during the domestic season in the UK, but not quite up to full mobility that we've seen from her before, but she's certainly hitting her top.
Yeah, and that's the signs of a real experienced quality player. Yeah, she went off in that final for Manchester Thunder, and as you said, has kind of been limited to how much she can play, but you can tell she doesn't want to come off the court. She wants to lead this team, but you've got to manage it. It's a competition that's got a lot of games. Great work from Demisha Crony there, using the back space.
Confirmation of those changes for Barbados. Crony waiting for the feed. Thomas manages to land it.
Malawi.
Luazi for Malawi. Dula coming out for it, and it's really that movement from her and those attacking
Contact goal shooter.
and that's been successful for Malawi, but now Barbados getting some joy.
Contact goalkeeper. Goalkeeper.
Just a few of those contacts again in the early stages of this.
Lovely height on that shot there from Thomas. And Kule and Binkumbu, just something else to think about now with Blackman using more of a rotational circle. Not as much height as Wharton. A few inches shorter, so slight different game, but great
Intelligent player, isn't she?
Absolutely.
And what you'll get from her, and the way she came on and sorted out the defence, it's attacking, and she just talks constantly to the players. Great leader, vice-captain of the side.
Contact
Oh, that looked a bit tricky. She's on stumble, she's fine. She gets
Back up, she'll just try and stamp that one out.
On my whistle.
Just as she came down,
Side wing defense.
her backside on the ankle.
Goal defense contact after the shot. Yeah. Contact goalkeeper, advantage goal.
Chimilero went a little bit quiet in that last quarter,
Contact.
the last few minutes.
More time.
Another bib.
It is there. Beside her. On the fence, stay where you are.
Kule stands by the side, readjusts her bib. And now Barbados with a feed in. Luazi, though, timeout called. Straight into the eye then. It's like, just looked like the left hand, maybe a finger in the
Needs to come off.
eye.
Center. Time was help for you.
Time was called, so she has to go off, Luazi.
You have to head up. No, she has to come
She's
off.
trying to say, no, I'm okay, but if you call time, you must leave the court. You can re-enter, but you have to be...
So the change has got to happen. Was she calling time, or was it just saying, I just need a moment?
Yeah,
well, she did the timeout sign.
Yeah, you did. She did do the timeout sign. You know that if you do that, then you're off. I'm wondering if she was trying to get away with that offside that she knew that she had done.
Barbados.
I'm not suggesting that.
Oh, cynical. Camilla Buchanan.
Contact, vanish offside, defense.
And make you right, though.
Oh, nice open up. And Ntahule just sucked forward onto that.
Barbados on the quarter score go ahead. 4-3 up in this quarter. Lost the first one 17-9, the second 18-11. You could be about to go 5-3 up. No, there was a slide, and that opportunity goes.
Amanda Knight just 19, but has been a real engine for this Barbados team. And it's centre. Now I'd be asking some questions. That's happened about six or seven times. Joyce Mavula exits out the circle onto the left-hand side. She has a centre court player drive into the opposite pocket, and nobody's stopping that depth.
It's difficult to, though, when you're being pulled from side to side by both.
It is, but when it's happened 7 times on the trot, you'd be asking some questions.
Remind me not to be coached by you. You didn't stop talking
Not
to me.
onside, wing.
Cool again. See, as a coach, you can only do so much, can't you?
Obstruction, wing defence. Hold time,
little
please. Wing defence, it's becoming persistent, that's a caution. Penalty outside.
Another caution.
Shante
Wait for
Seal,
my whistle, please.
persistent. So she's given the caution.
Contact centre.
Next stage, a warning.
Vantage goal contact.
Then it would be a 2-minute suspension before you're sent off court. The reason for mentioning that is we've already seen that once in this tournament.
Behind, go attack.
We have.
Stella Oyella was suspended for 2 minutes and sent completely. Uganda against
Contact
England.
wing defence. Vantage outside, go and attack.
That was better from Amanda Knight, just stopping that long cross-court pocket ball that Mavula likes to do.
Obstruction, goalkeeper.
You won't have noticed, unless you're keen-eyed, that Mwenda currently hasn't got a back bib on.
Hold time.
And that's because Ntahule saw it drop off, picked it up, tucked it up under her dress so that the game wouldn't stop. But it's just been noticed by the umpire.
Smart thinking.
She kept it in the same place that tennis players keep their new balls. Crony.
Opting for the triangle. What Malawi defence are doing really well is they're getting on the inside positions of the circle edge so that any ball from wing attack to centre's got to go across court. And we saw Ntahule win one of those interceptions earlier. Oh,
Mwenda makes it stick.
Just about. Good triangle there from Chimilaro. Opens up Mavule at the back space. Pretty textbook.
Well in doing that, though. You say pretty textbook when you've got those Barbados defenders. Big height and speed and power as well in there. They did draw them well.
They did, and they're an experienced pair, Niles Mapp and Azora Bruce, so you would expect them to be able to have something to counteract that, but the timing of it was really on point.
It started this quarter so well, Barbados, but as we approach the halfway mark, it's Malawi coming back into it.
And that's the kind of defence that will win Barbados some balls. You had Azora Bruce taking the front of that. Niles Mapp went to run the back, just couldn't get there in time. But that's the kind of stuff that will start to win them ball. They've just got to do it early enough. Niles Mapp, I'm not sure, has the leg. She looks like she's just holding the back of her leg a little bit. I'm not sure she has the legs to be able to run that and then step back up to Chimilaro.
Vantage obstruction, wing defence. Vantage upside, wing
Not looking to post on that.
Vantage obstruction, centre.
Shuffle shot. So hard to defend with that split landing that's so difficult to defend. As she takes that, look at that.
Split's nearly as wide as the circle then.
I mean,
it gives you better position.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets you that bit closer to the post. Oh, nice rebound.
The noise you can hear behind us is New Zealand have just beaten Singapore in their Group B game. The other two teams in this group, So as it stands, New Zealand going through to the next stage, winning the group.
Malawi just pulling ahead again in this quarter. Barbados just starting to look a little bit sluggish in their defence, just a little bit sloppy.
Obstruction, goal defence. Hold time, please. Goal defence. That's
that halfway point in the quarters that we're seeing some of these teams just start to take their foot off the pedal, and it's teams like Malawi that pull away, and if you don't stay with them at this stage, it makes it so much harder.
So just confirmation that New Zealand have beaten Singapore 89-21. They top Group B, 6 points through to the next stage. 3 teams go through from each group. So Malawi and Barbados will go through, regardless of the result in this one. Everyone's a fan of the no look when it works.
When it works, yeah. As a coach, you kind of let it go, but if it doesn't,
it's balancing that flair, isn't it? The natural ability of the players, not trying to contain it too much.
And that's a real art, that is. Not many players can do that, have got the flair, but are able to control it and keep it held down when it's really key. We talk about the Serena Guthrie's, the Laura Langmans, they have flair for days, but they can tame it when needed.
So the footwork called in that passage. Now Barbados will look to capitalise. She tried everything.
Contact.
There's been a little less pinging as we've made it into this third quarter, but still with everyone's bodies flying across court. Kule there. Still a lot of contact being called.
That's better, a release from Blackman just to ease up, but there's nothing on third phase. It's just the timing of Barbados, not much preparation.
The little call from Galetta. She was open in acres of space. Brulu now. Called in the work of the rest of the team. Do you take her off at some stage? I mean, this game's gone.
I think this game is done, and yeah, absolutely. She's had a good, solid 2.5 quarters. I think you look after her for your next stages, because look at that. She's saying, no, don't take me off.
It's a World Cup. You want to stay on for as long as you can, particularly when you're shooting as well as Joyce and Pula.
Obstruction centre.
Oh.
Contact on the ball. Barge obstruction on defence. Contact.
Talk a lot about that attacking end, but
Stay on.
Caroline Tapule, you've got a defensive end as well that's got experience in it. Through 5 World Cups.
And we talked about the experience of Blackman, but opportunity-wise, it hasn't quite worked out for them any better than Morton. Morton was, for me, a little bit more of a threat. She offered a bit more backspace. She had a bit more strength and presence about her. Blackman, we know that she's smart, but for me, hasn't quite had the impact that we know that she can have.
Seen some of the Barbados players going for a warm-up, but Wharton's not necessarily walking that well. Should we see her just off the back of the screen then?
Looking like you after a run.
Run?
Oh, a walk.
There's Tapule. Her 4th World Cup.
Vantage contact, wing defence.
Just playing it round.
Contact on the left,
So well.
defence, outside.
Yeah, really using the all 3 seconds that they have.
Obstruction.
that's what's also making it difficult for the
caution for persistent obstruction. This is now a warning.
warning.
She'll need to keep an eye on that. Next action is 2 minutes off court.
Which Barbados really don't need at this.
Yes.
And Seal's been a good player for them.
Obstruction and
It's the
contact.
frustration, it's what she's having to deal with in that position.
Absolutely, and
Now's the bench. It's down to the coaches. Would you hook her? Would you take her off?
yeah, you have a strong word with her at the quarter time. I mean, you would have expected her to tidy it up a little bit. But yeah, to protect the team, getting a sin bin and going down to 6 players, you could take her off.
And then you see a moment like that from Barbados, and you can see why they were so strong at the start of this
Vantage contact
quarter.
on defense.
Not done yet. Last minute of the third quarter then. 51-29 the lead for Malawi. A fake pass once, a fake pass twice this time comes off. They reset themselves.
Sorry, Chimilero just such a threat on all of those. The way that she works the front of that circle, she looks to shoot. The defender gets her 3 feet. She uses that to pass out and get a little bit closer. Oh, great backing up there.
And this is why they've got to be frustrated. They see the clock going down, but already the call. Ah, the world wanted that one the other way, didn't they?
Absolutely, what a
The
great
world, apart from Barbados.
bit of vision there.
Just seeing that, and then another long bomb. Last few seconds then of this quarter. That one's done and dusted. Up the other end, Barbados come again. They'll need to be quick. Who's offering great defensive work from Malawi just to delay the clock. Time's been held. Umpire won't let that one go. 52-29 then. Malawi just pulling ahead again. Fairly similar scores for them during these first 3 quarters. Scoring 17, 18 and then 17 again. We thought Barbados could live with them at the start of that third quarter, but Malawi just having too much in the tank and under the post. 52-29. The final quarter and the final 15 minutes of this first game on court 2 on day 3. 52-29, Malawi lead Barbados. Barbados have been in this game, but there have been perhaps just too much in the legs of Malawi as they've taken them on. Shots-wise, 93%. High scores for Malawi. Mvula, chiefly amongst those, 31 from 33 at 94%. Centre pass then for Malawi. A couple of changes. We'll run you through those in just a moment.
Kamwala slotting in beautifully with her first shot.
We said would they give Mvula a rest? She's been coming back from injury. And that's happened. Galetta then. Chimilero, who's taken a lot of the load in that circle too.
Contact, goalkeeper, yep.
Sort of contact off her head. There was a header in there, wasn't there?
Malawi.
Galetta with it.
Oh, Niles Map just
Contact.
unlucky on that. Oh,
Another of those changes for Barbados.
Goal defense, obstruction.
Rhea Holder with the
Yes.
centre bib now on. We didn't think we'd see Wharton come back on, and Blackman stayed in that goal shoot position.
yeah, she's just offering a bit more of a release out of the circle, using the width to play herself into the circle, but just unable to convert that time. Kamwala with a really strong take. Similar step to the pocket, fake, passes back. Chimilero opens up on the baseline. Nice, smart play from the duo in that circle.
Debut World Cup for Kamwala. 24 years old, but she's had such strength in front of her. With Kumwenda and Mvula now as well.
What an amazing time to take your opportunity, and she's really doing just that.
Time called. Chimilero's gone down. A little bit of a grimace. she called time straight away.
Hopefully nothing serious. That could be a real blow for Malawi. She's been a real...
She just went over, got her leg tangled round the back.
Yeah, couldn't really see what it was that...
Yeah, it was a little bit clumsy in the tripping over. It was a game of Twister, wasn't it, more than anything else? She's been helped off court. We'll keep an eye on her.
Maybe she wanted the rest.
Is that what I need to do?
You just need to ask. Samantha Brown in at the wing attack position.
The noise behind us might just indicate that England are walking on to court number 1.
I thought that was for me and you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Lorena Guerra with a great reach over the shot. See her enter in at the goalkeeper position. Holder just being told to release the ball earlier, so Malawi can take the centre pass in their time.
Oh, great take. It was angry, it worked, it was effective.
Blackman with the release again, using the pocket. Oh, again, an offside call, just unforgivable.
Middle. Yes.
Lorena Guerra. Danny's plied her trade in the Super League in the UK. One of the original 3 professional Malawi players.
Played fast 5 for Mavericks and had a stint in Northumbria, now at Pulse. Really see her game grow over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, you know her well, Camilla Buchanan, and she has adapted, hasn't she?
She has, and so it's great about seeing the likes of the African nations teams really growing. Not just the African nations, but seeing these players get into the, the Vitality Super League, Suncorp. It just elevates the game. It elevates the world game.
Won't have phased Blackman at all, though, as proved. Another one off for Barbados. They haven't let this blow out. They've kept nibbling away at that Malawi score.
They have, and it's just those key moments when you'd expect them to put their foot down. They just don't look like they've got the fitness, the endurance to be able to push through for a whole quarter. You know, they're good for the first 6 or 7 minutes, and then they just take their foot off the pace.
Blackman with it, having a look over the top. Back to Seal and Blackman combining again.
Galetta just trying to win that interception by running through the circle, which obviously not really allowed to do.
What they have done well is just try and mess up the rhythm and the timing of Barbados.
Yeah,
in their faces.
Yeah, those sneaky little things, you know, the little hands in, the little offsides, just to try and delay it. That's experience for you, and you know, sometimes it's not always going to go your way. It's not always going to go cleanly, but experienced players know how to rattle.
Centre pass for Malawi. 9.5 minutes of this game remaining. Reminder, both these teams will go through to the next stage. All change on Monday. Group A and B will join together.
Barbados!
And C and D will join together. The top 3 in both groups will go through. Such a shame that was offside, because a great land, and then just when they play with that almost that no thinking pass, Barbados have got the skills.
They have. They just struggle to string it together for a little bit longer.
Rebound this time. Simatoi in at that goal attack position. Maybe a bit more backing up in there for Kamwala.
Simtoe shot nicely yesterday, 100%. for this short amount of time that she had on court. And they do that split landing so well.
It is, they can be on the edge of the circle and all of a sudden almost right under the post just with that one split.
Yeah, and our very own Pamela Cooker used to do that so well as well. You think you're close to it, she could take off from outside the circle and land.
And not the tallest either.
No. No, it just shows the athleticism.
They're not sticking for the inexperienced attacker at the moment.
No, look at this, there's just no movement from the Barbados team. The Bajan Gems have just run out of, they've run out of fuel.
Because this was a moment from that point when they get the ball, turn the ball over and transition back up through court, but now just the options having to go backwards and it loses all that momentum.
Absolutely, and you'd expect it to be powered through from the defensive end. It sets the tone for the attacking lineup, and if you've got your goal defense standing on the edge of the circle, not even making a drive through the court, it makes it.
But that shot should set the tone, shouldn't it? That's just showing what they're capable of. Maybe you'll give them a second win. Blackman came out for it.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Great hands there.
And that was all from Blackman coming out initially, trying to make something happen, just trying to put some energy back in this side.
Yeah, and Samantha Brown with that feed. She's a very experienced mid-court player. Great hands, great vision.
Back to 6-all in this quarter score. Galetta. Simto wasn't too sure. She wanted to get closer to the post before she picked that one up. Malawi edge back ahead, but better now that it's going goal for goal.
Absolutely, and it's a better second phase for Barbados centre pass now. Samantha Brown just providing that clear first phase.
That was going in. There's confidence behind that shot, but now what can Malawi do? Simitoe, not everyone was up with her. Galetta now joins her. And it is much more joy they're getting defensively, Barbados. The change in that attacking end not working for Malawi. Holder with it. To Blackman with a little bounce through.
Lovely hands from Samantha Brown.
Short.
Oh, that's unlucky. Short pass. There's got to be space for a player to get through the middle, so if A is passing to B, C's got to be able to get through the middle. And the Malawi got a hand to it, so there is a question mark as to whether or not that was a short pass, but it was given.
Seems a little bit unfair. Talking of unfair, maybe bringing on Lawazi if you want an injection of pace, which is what Malawi have done at that centre position. That will spark some life back into them.
Yeah, real exciting player, real smart head on her.
And all of a sudden, Malawi go 3 goals up on this quarter. 9-6, 60-35 overall. 61-35 overall. Oh! We read that one.
Throw in. Wing defense, that was contact. You're taking the ball out of her hand. Vantage contact, center.
Hold it.
Goal defense contact. Yes.
We were right behind that shot and you could just see it was bending all the way.
Vantage goal obstruction.
Just correcting her hand there.
I love how shooters do that afterwards.
What, reenact the shot,
Reenact it.
but make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Go for the replay.
Absolutely, yeah. Correct it in their mind so that next time it's automatic, or maybe just to make themselves feel a bit better. Great second phase from Sam Brown. That's what Barbados have been missing. Great work from Sam Brown just to wall her defender out and then cut through to the top of the circle. If you look at that preparation, she hits the middle and then she's on for a one-on-one, got the choice of either side of the circle. So effective.
Ah, and there's the shot readjustment. That one was gorgeous.
8-10, much better from Barbados this quarter. Samantha Brown making that difference in that attacking end.
the balance to this 7 now. Bring Wharton into it.
That could be the medicine to make this a quarter win for Barbados. Great work through a double there on Sam Brown. Pulls the players apart, pops through. Great work from
off court, throw in.
Unlucky there, just steamed out of court, and you've got to be fully on the court before you catch it. Lawazi cutting through that defence like there was nobody there.
And their centre pass again, and that's the difference. So quick. One goal can follow another in the rapidity of it when it just changes back round for Malawi. Oh, 1-2. Lovely shot position. Again, another fake with a pass. And then the shot. Didn't look comfortable at any stage in that shot. Kamwala.
Contact, you were pushing the player.
She knew it. Takule then with the smile back to the umpire.
Vantage contact, wing defence.
I mean, they can afford to give a few of these cheap goals away, but when you look at facing Australia in the next round, Malawi, they're the sort of areas they need to just maybe brush up on.
Yeah, they'll have to be close enough to them, first of all.
They've been so impressive. There's impressive again.
Great shot.
Has been attack v attack, hasn't it? And it's just that sort of just trying to maybe sharpen up some of their defensive work. We've got another stray bib.
Yeah,
Wenda's not done well with the bibs since she's come on.
No, but just getting back to your point about the defence end, and we know that pairings and combinations are really key. But for me, Barbados tonight, they just lack the legs.
Yes. Vantage contact, centre.
And the intensity.
Just needed that across the full 60. This one just taken away.
You ready?
Might need some new bibs ahead of the next game.
I think that would be a good idea.
Contact, wing
Just
defence,
breaks up, it
centre
just
third.
breaks the flow.
Centre third. Yes.
Last minute of this game then. We have cruised most of these quarters, but just passages in it where Barbados have come back. They haven't lost their pride at any stage. Just holding the time. Just so the umpire can re-instruct where it needed to be.
Oh, unlucky. They thought there was just a miscommunication. They thought the umpire was saying something. She looked away and just didn't see the ball released to her.
And Barbados deserve to have the ball in hand up the attacking end as this game closes out. Sonia Blackman's so consistent for her team at both ends, and she puts away, which will more than likely be Barbados' last goal in this game, although they'll have another chance. Wing defence breaking, so last few seconds they'll need to be quick. Can they move quickly into the circle? Congested in there, she lets it roll, she puts it up. Blackman will be given another opportunity. That one will count. Barbados deserved that for what they've put into this game. It came down to the fact, possibly, maybe just not enough legs to go up against the physicality and the speed of Malawi through this game. They kept that last quarter tight, though. Just the one goal in it in that fourth quarter. But it's Malawi with the overall win, 65-41. And it was those three dominant third quarters that give them the win. Camilla, in that huddle now, we're seeing all the players off the bench, and you look at the strength of that starting 7 for Malawi and what they've got, and they've got a couple of options on the bench, but they're really showing that starting 7 that they can contend with most of these teams here at the World Cup.
They can, and they've got strength all throughout the 7. Like you said, they made some changes today. Didn't quite have the impact that they had in yesterday's game, but yeah, some real quality through there. Lawazi impressive for me tonight. Joyce Mavula, an absolute standout player. And defensively, Vinkumbu also did a fantastic job.
We look really at how clinical Malawi were, shooting at 90%. Barbados at 80%. When they could get the ball into that circle, had the skills to put it away.
Yeah, and they just lacked the opportunity. Sam Brown really made a difference for me in that last quarter, coming into that wing attack position. Just provided, we can see there, their best quarter was 13-12. Only lost by 1 goal in that last quarter.
The penalties came down really to some tiredness at patches and frustration for Barbados. A couple of cautions in there too. So 65-41 the final score, but really with Wharton under that post and in fine form early on, Barbados were living with Malawi.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, had we had Wharton on the court with Blackman's experience and Sam Brown in at the wing attack, things might have gone a little bit better for Barbados tonight. They showed some real quality in patches, but just unable to string it together for a full 15 minutes at a time, something that they'll really be going away and having a look at. They've got the long bombs, they've got the skill, they just need it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's about putting out that four-quarter consistency for Barbados. And with the no-look passes of Mvula in that circle, Chimaliro taking a lot of the weight on her shoulders too. Both those attacking players showed flair for Malawi, and they were able to bring quality off the bench as well. Just perhaps the inexperience at the end of their young Kamilara was maybe one area they'd need to improve, but they have suffered injuries in those areas. Mvula, if they can wrap her up and keep her safe heading into the next stage, proving an able replacement for Mike and Wenda. If you've had both in that circle though, what a dominant force Malawi would be.
Absolutely, and we're just hoping that Chimaliro is all fine. It's just a little niggle that she can nurse back to strength, because they really rely on her to be a playmaker, and such accuracy on that shot that we just see from her there.
Energy from Malawi then. A win for them, and this is how Group B looks. There was a win earlier for New Zealand over Singapore, 89-21. New Zealand go through to the next stage with 6 points in their locker. Malawi 4, Barbados 2. The top 3 sides go through. They'll join another group, Group F, with A and B in stage 2. Let's hear from the coach of Barbados after that defeat.
Thanks very much, Caroline. Well, Sandra, it was a 24-goal loss in the end today to a team ranked only 2 places above you. A little disappointed in that?
Well, even though the current rank put them 2 places ahead, you remember that originally they were ranked number 6 in the world. And kudos to them. They played very well today. We really wanted to get this win, but things happen like that sometimes.
You certainly had moments, didn't you, in every quarter. So that will give you a bit of confidence, won't it, to go through to this second stage, which you're going to be a part of?
Yes, it would. We wanted to keep possession of the ball. Unfortunately, today we didn't do it as well as we should. But in the last quarter, the last combination that went on, I think, did very well.
And just finally, the ambitions now for your side. Have you readjusted those?
Well, we're going to try very hard to do better in the second stage, because we want to place as high as possible.
Well played today. Unlucky, we look forward to watching you in the next stages. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Here's what's coming up then here on Court 2. After that win for Malawi, it's Uganda, Scotland next, then Northern Ireland, Zimbabwe, and Trinidad and Tobago take on Fiji. Let's hear now from the player of the match.
Thanks very much. Well, Joyce and Villa, this is the second time in less than 24 hours you've stood here as player of the match. Many congratulations. How much fun was it out there today?
I don't take it for granted, you know. I've been through a lot, like I'm coming from injuries, so it's something like I can say favors upon me. So I just want to thank my fellow players. I couldn't do it myself. We're helping each other throughout.
How pleased are you to get 3/4 of a game under your belt? As you said, you haven't played any solid netball really since the Super League final.
You know, Barbados is a good team, so what we discussed as a team and as my person, like I saw the team, I saw like we should help them like for the 3/4, then I should go out because you know if the team wins it's in the 3rd quarter, so that's why we wanted like I should go out on the 3rd quarter.
And just finally, Joyce, you were very vocal out there. We saw you shouting. We don't normally see that at Manchester Thunder. Do you enjoy being a bit of a leader of this side?
Yeah, you know, maybe because it's English, but in Shishawa we understand each other more. So, of course, at Thunder I do shout, but it's just we want to win. We didn't come here to participate.
Well played today, Joyce. It's been a pleasure to watch you over the last few days, and we will see you in the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail, and the player of the match, Joyce Mvula. So just a reminder then, Malawi second in Group B. The top 3 teams go through to the next stage where Group B will face Group A. Let's now hear from the Malawi assistant coach.
Thank you very much. Well, White, that was a pretty commanding performance out there. You never really looked too troubled by Barbados, did you?
Yes, we didn't. But of course, we have respect for Barbados. They're a good team, but we planned to ask the players to play as a team. That's the only secret.
A word on Joyce Mvula. She was player of the match again. How important is she for the whole way that Malawi play this game?
Joyce Mvula is an asset to Malawi. I know it's also an asset to Thunder, the Manchester Thunder. But we owe her, Malawi owes her quite a great deal. So we are happy and grateful for her. She is somehow injured, but she made it a point that she should come and play for her country. Thank you so much. I give many thanks to Joyce for that effort.
And finally, you are in the easier half of the draw. When you look at the games to come in stages 2 in this competition, you must fancy your chances to sneak into the top 2 places.
Oh yeah, in Malawi, the sky's the limit. We are here not to participate, but to compete. We are going to compete, and we wish we get to the higher levels.
Well played today. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much.